Clouds of dust disperse, and the morning light sparkles through acacia trees to light up the lower landscape. The helicopter hovers above the black rhino to lead it to the safer grounds as the veterinary doctor prepares the dart.
The dosages are different, so depending on the size of the animal that will be sighted, that is when we decide which dart to use.
It is the rhino notching exercise, an event that happens after every 3 years.
It is a part of one of our rhinos strategic in terms of management of the populations.
The exercise is done with precision, and every decision made has to be concrete to ensure the safety of the rhino. That comes first.
If the animal has not been notched and it is in maybe the third trimester, it's very heavily pregnant, and that one we do not we not notch that one. If the rhino also is a clean rhino, it has no notch, and it has a very young rhino that if separated, the young one can be in danger, then we also avoid to do that.
Trained and experienced veterinaries hold down the gigantic rhino as the exercise of ear notching and specimen collecting goes on. They only have 10 minutes for this process.
So each country has their unique patterns. So for Kenya, you'll see it's a V-shaped kind of pattern, and a hole. That one is specifically for the monitoring teams, so that we can know how many rhinos we have at any one time in the country.
40 rhinos, both black and white, are said to be ear-notched at the end of the exercise. With rhino population under constant threat of poaching and habitat loss, rhino notching has become a necessary conservation method.
So technology is also part of conservation that we have embraced, and I'm glad that it has made wildlife conservation, wildlife monitoring easy.
10 black rhinos will be fitted with the LoRa transmitters to enable rhino monitoring and identification as they walk in the wild. The monitoring happens from the office via Earth Ranger software.
You put a rhino transmitter on the horn, and you can able to see on the screen on the ops room where your rhinos are. Particularly the rhinos which are up on the forest where you can't able to see them every day.
In the event a horn is recovered elsewhere, we can just take a scanner, get that code, run it through the system, and we'll know that that horn is from a particular rhino that was fitted with that microchip in a certain area. So we'll have all those records.
During the exercise, various samples are collected for laboratory analysis and research on various aspects of rhino conservation.
And in the event that we get even a small part of this animal elsewhere, whether it's a part of the horn without the microchip or without any other feature like the transmitter, we can run a DNA test on that piece of that rhino, and we can now run it through the bank and check, and we can confirm that that is from this particular individual.
The exercise is being spearheaded by Kenya Wildlife Service, KWS, in collaboration with the Wildlife Research and Training Institute and Lewa Borana Wildlife Conservancies. Kenya is one of the countries on the spot for poaching. The white rhino is listed as critically endangered compared to the black one. Its docile makes it an easy target.
In our case, we've seen a steady increase in the numbers of rhinos over the last 10 years, and that is a very good indication that we are doing very well as a country.
Currently, at 1,890, Kenya holds the third largest rhino population in the world.
Like one good example is where we are. Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, I think it was started in the 80s, with very few number of rhinos. The numbers are built over the years, and has also been a source of rhinos for other conservation areas.
Lewa Conservancy is home to over 200 rhinos, accounting for approximately 13% of the national rhino population as at December last year.
We actually even populate conservancies in the region with the rhino. Currently, we are imminently translocating about 12 units, 12 individuals of rhino to Loisaba, which is a conservancy in the northwestern side of Lewa. We've given rhinos to Sera in the north of Kenya.
While poaching figures have been declining recently in comparison to earlier years, more conservation efforts are needed to save the endangered species. That efforts not only the rhino but other wildlife.
In terms of security, we have a lot of information coming from the community to us in case of any suspicious people being sighted, in case of any information being gathered by the community, we get easily without people hiding it to us.
The integration of technology and host communities in wildlife conservation will go a long way in ending poaching.
Where there are rhinos or where there are other wildlife, we try as much as possible to involve the communities as much as possible so that we can have their buy-in. They accept wildlife as part of not only their heritage but also their livelihoods.
When it comes to the rangeland health as well, and then drought and other factors of climate change, you find that due to its proximity to Mount Kenya, most wildlife is moving all the way from northern Kenya, finding some good refuge on Lewa. And sometimes, and we have opened even corridors to link wildlife to Mount Kenya forest. So all this is just making sure we create space for conservation.
For KTN News, I'm Levis Msumba.